The funding for this video is provided by the amazing members of our Patreon. Also contributions from viewers like you. Thank you. Yeah, I started from PBS Kids. What you gonna do? Fight me? Anyway, roll the video. So before we get started, I just want to say that I'm currently having a Labor Day sale for my merchandise. Just go to harryonahook.com. No code needed. The discount will be applied at checkout. Girl, get it together. Well, it is 4 a.m. as I'm recording this. So anyway, discount applied at checkout. Everything is half price this Labor Day weekend only. And yeah. So as I was in the middle of working on my comic, I didn't even take my drawing glove off. I randomly just started reminiscing on one of the projects that inspired me to, start creating things. Back in the day with YouTube, it's kind of different, not so much with the way things are now. Remember when you were younger and you would get your dolls and you would make them play games and make up scenarios and whatnot? Yeah, for those of you guys who don't know, there are still people that do that. But back in the day, you most likely have stumbled across one of these videos if you were looking to watch AMVs about shit that came from a doll franchise, okay? That is how I discovered this. Everybody knows about the My Little Pony, the LSP, not LSP, Lumpy Space Princess. Get it together. The Littlest Pet Shop videos that literally took the nation by storm. No, like I was laughing at them Littlest Pet Shop people. They was making a bag. There's so many different types of videos out here, but there is one in particular that always stuck with me and I still laugh about from time to time. Main reason why is because I was watching Broe Deschanel's video about Barbie, who's an amazing creator. I really love her work and I really love her podcast. And she mentioned the most popular girls in school and I low-key fangirl because I was like, wait a minute, you mentioned the most popular girls in school? Dang, that makes me realize that more people know what this shit is, and I have thoughts and opinions on it because why the fuck did we like this shit so bad? For what reason? What about this series is what drew us in? Most Popular Girls in School was basically that section of YouTube that you was afraid to tell people that you was watching up until you gotten older, because I actually found out from my friends at the time that they was over here watching Most Popular Girls in School in secret just as well. I was such a big ass fan of the Most Popular Girls in School. I have merchandise for it made with using Barbie, my scene, the little Dollar Tree dolls, and then them Disney dolls. This shit was so big to the point where they had merchandise. It had an entire fandom. There was fan art for it. It was a big fucking deal. And now it just kind of feels like it wiped off the face of the earth and I am kind of sad. But what is it about the Most Popular Girls in School that makes me always want to go back and think about it? What is it about the Most Popular Girls in School where I am still quoting shit from the show? Y'all know the episode Justice in a Slim Jim? I know that shit word for word. Adderall, Zinfandel. So the Most Popular Girls in School is a series that I can compare to Not Another Teen Movie. It's obvious that this series is a farce. It's obvious that this series is satire. It basically is making fun of the culture that surrounds teen media. There are some things about this series that, yeah, you can tell that white men created this shit, but for the most part, it's a series that takes place in Overland Park, Kansas, which I didn't know fucking existed until I start watching this show, and it focuses on basically the most popular girls in school. You have the cheer squad, you have the people that hate the cheer squad, and then you have the boyfriends, which are basically the football players, typical, and then also you have the unpopular girls in school, which are basically the nerds, which is funny because nerds were the people making this shit. And then as the series went on, we are introduced to new characters, new settings. We're introduced to more people at the school. Then we meet people at another school from Atchison, who is the Overland Park School's rivalry. And then they even go to fucking Paris at one point in the series. It honestly is a show that you can tell had a lot of hard work, effort, and dedication put into it. This has to be one of the first web series that I can recall that I've seen ever become successful in the terms of like YouTube, I'd say. Because episodes were over here ranking in millions of views. And even when they weren't bringing in millions of views, they were still bringing in hundreds of thousand views. The Most Popular Girls in School is funny because you have the main girls. You have Mackenzie, you have Brittany, and then you have Trisha. Trisha is basically like the Karen. Brittany is like the Regina, and then Mackenzie is also a Regina George type, but she's also low-key a Gretchen. Mackenzie basically has this ongoing gag within the show that she starts to lose hair because Mackenzie has a really nasty fucking attitude, and it gets worse and worse the more it goes on. Brittany is loud, she's annoying, she's literally a fucking bitch, and that's just the entire purpose of her character. And then you have Trisha, who is mean but as clueless as ever. The way she screamed at Ashley Cachadorian for not watching the door was disgusting. Literally every single last person within this series is gonna do some shit that makes you angry. There were these two girls within the series called Rachel Tice and Judith, and these were the most unpopular girls within the series. They were just like, you know, your stereotypical nerdy quirky character. That pretty much was all to them. They literally were trying to do everything and anything to try to fit in, because there was a storyline where Rachel was basically hoeing around the school and it ended up ruining her reputation, and it made everything worse for her. For the most part, The Most Popular Girls in School is a series about people just doing such terrible things. There are certain characters within this series that I absolutely can't fucking stand. Like, I hate that lunch lady in this, and I hate the fact that she is played by Mother Gothel, because that makes me hate her even more. But it's so fucking funny to me because when I see these characters, I see these types of Barbies, I see these type of off-brand dollar dolls, I see the baby Ariel Disney doll, I see the Mother Gothel doll, and I even see the Merida doll. I don't see these dolls as their characters, the characters that they basically were assigned to. I see them as characters and people within the Most Popular Girls in School universe. And what's so hilarious to me is that the more you watch the Most Popular Girls in School, it kind of leaves your mind that these are dolls. It leaves everything out of your brain that these are inanimate objects. This is stop motion animation, because it starts to feel real. The dialogue, while be over the top, you can hear the emotion. You can tell that the people behind the scenes enjoyed making this series. And also, if you guys have ever read a webcomic before, you would see that in the beginning, it's not going to look different the more it goes on. And that's exactly how it is with the Most Popular Girls in School. It's actually amazing to see the increased production value that has come along the way for the show. When it comes to the Most Popular Girls in School, every single week we tuned in to just watch bad people be bad. A lot of us who watched this series growing up, we weren't necessarily popular in school, so it was funny to just sit down every week and watch a show that made fun of the people who picked on us. To watch a show that made fun of the people who made us feel small. And I say that because while there are a group of girls within the series that get made fun of for being unpopular by the popular girls within the series, it's kind of laughable because it's just like, okay, this is extremely over the top. But then when we cut back to the most unpopular girls in school, we see that they are not perfect and they don't have everything all together. We see that a lot of these girls at this school have horrible relationships with their families. We see the kind of home life that they live with. We see the interactions that they have with their boyfriends and other people within the area. We get to see that a lot of the people at their fucking school doesn't like them. I loved the Most Popular Girls in School growing up simply because I was somebody that grew up to be very fucking insecure. I got picked on all the time. I got bullied really, really bad. I used to come home and cry all the freaking time. And when I started watching the Most Popular Girls in School, the biggest takeaway from it was These people are not perfect. While it may be presented on the outside that these people are perfect, while their hair is always done, their nails are always done, their parents have money to give them things so they could, you know, look a certain way. They have the newest handbags, they have the new designer clothes, they have the new Jordans that dropped last week, and then they have the Jordans that dropped the week before that, and then the week before that, and the week before that. Can you guys tell that I grew up in a predominantly black area? But watching the most popular girls in school, it showed me that those are not people that I should be envious of. I shouldn't be envious of anybody in general, but being envious of somebody that looks as if they have it all together on the outside and treats people like shit is not something that I should admire and want to look up to. I am somebody that deeply struggled with who I was growing up after dealing with so much, how am I going to say this word without it getting demonetized? But I dealt with so much trauma from my peers. I never felt great about myself and whatever. And I always turned to YouTube to feel like I fit in, to find something that I felt like I belonged to. And I'd get on here and I'd watch these YouTubers. I get on here. You remember the beauty guru era? My two main beauty gurus that I always used to watch was Amanda Steele and then Maddie Bragg. Their names back then were completely different from the way they are now. But a one that a lot of you guys are familiar with, her name has to be Bethany Moda. And I was obsessed with that entire era of beauty gurus. This is before I started making content and whatnot. But I desperately wanted to fit in with these people. But then I realized that these were the kinds of people that would pick on me in school. And while I don't know any of these YouTubers, and like I said, I liked Amanda and I liked Maddie, I still follow both of them on Instagram. Women that I actually really do look up to, because I'm gonna be honest, if it wasn't for those two, I wouldn't have made my YouTube channel. But when I looked at their content and I looked at the things that they were able to do with their YouTube channels, they reminded me so much of the popular girls in school. And I started to feel some kind of way when I was watching their channels, because I was like, yeah, they're nice, I like their content, but the way they dress and the items that they have and the money that they make, it reminds me a lot of the people that are mean to me in my class. And I felt like with watching the most popular girls in school, I was able to, you know, find some comfort within that series, because as I said earlier, the most popular girls in school is farce. It is extremely over the top. People say shit in here that is extremely out of the ass. There are so many shit and fart jokes within here to the point where it gets annoying and it feels like you're watching fucking Total Drama Island. The most popular girls in school, it is far from a perfect series. It is very flawed, to be exact, because there was some issues with racism within it. Are we surprised? No. There were some issues with sexism within it, because while it was a lot of men behind the scenes of the production crew, there were some instances of what they would do with the female characters that was very irksome. There were issues with ableism within this series just as well. Like I said, the most popular girls in school was not a perfect series. Was it well produced for the budget that they had? Of course. Did it have a great storyline? Yes. There were flaws there, okay? But what was the main takeaway from this series? And personally, the main thing I took away from it is that I should not be envious of horrible fucking people. And that saying right there, honestly, is what helped me move away from celebrity culture. It helped me move away from putting people on pedestals. It helped me move away from seeing myself as less than because I don't have the same things as everyone else. The most popular girl in school, it was genius. It did what it did for me at the time of it being. And I know a lot of people sit here and talk about how they wish that the most popular girls in school would come back. But honestly, it's a product of its time. It's most definitely a product of its time. It needs to stay in the 2010s. And it's just nice to sit and reminisce about it. I don't know how the most popular girls in school will work in this day and age. I know Sam and Mickey is still going on. No shade to Sam and Mickey. I just always went to the most popular girls in school. Y'all be telling me to check out Sam and Mickey. I'm like subscribed to them, I think I am. But yeah, I just had some thoughts and opinions about the most popular girls in school because this was a series that I really loved growing up, and it was something that was truly special to me, mainly because I just dealt with so much. And as this year, I just kind of been doing a lot of reflecting on myself because this year has been a year of me really wanting to focus on healing. And most popular girls in school, that was just something that I say was a contribution to me fixing how I viewed myself. But that is pretty much all I wanted to say for this video. I am having a Labor Day sale. It is everything in store is 50% off. Like I said, no code needed. A discount is applied at checkout. All my cosplay stuff will be coming, Instagram, all of that stuff. I am planning to do Blacktober this year, and my Blacktober this year, one day will be art, the other day will be cosplay, so it's a switcheroo back and forth type thing. I am busy just working on my comic, still cranking out YouTube videos. Like I said, I'm a college student, still in class. It's Labor Day, so I feel like I finally have some time off before I need to get back to studying. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I am going to be having more content coming in the days to come. Mainly, like I said, I'm on break right now, but this is something I just kind of wanted to get off my chest a little bit. But the Marsai Martin video is coming. That shit's been taking forever for me to get done. But I do have another Unhinged breakdown that I plan to do. I have a video that I have coming soon about like an MTV series that I've been watching and whatnot. Animated, of course. And then prepping for Disney December because I'm not waiting to the last fucking minute to get it done like last year. But yeah, this was my little ode to the most popular girls in school. But like I said, at the end of the day, nothing is perfect, but I am able to see the great that was put in with this series. Like I said, there was a lot of creative decisions with it that I just did not like, but in conclusion, the series was a positive impact on me growing up. I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a good night.